make this fight even happen. Polestar will have the Kumio form. Here comes Lapsus to save the day.
Kumiho unleashed. Here comes the big stepper, stomping all over Rad, but unable to really find that much in the way of final hits just yet. Crazy Kitty needs to be sent away, and Ballas has to back off the point right now. An isolation onto Smash. There's a follow-up his air. Ballas is so responsive when it comes to all of the incoming damage, but now towards the back, you need to worry about your Rad, and Crazy Kitty just absolutely chunked through them. The damage boost from the Luna is brutal to try and deal with in the neutral, and while Pulsar may have flipped back in their favor, the damage has already been done. Twitzy so far from a resurrection here, so the remainder of a healing core cannot return. DRP falls down, but Ballas still has some heroics left in them yet. One chance to be a hero, but up against the world of Rad, you aren't strong enough to do it by yourself. Overtime starts to tick on down. Ballas is stabbed away by Lugia, caught inside of a smoke monster. Might give Ballas a moment to get on. They just about do it, but now they're broken down by the Dark Maelstrom. It's now Lapsis or Dilas's turn to get on, but eaten up by Vertigo on the Jeff. DRP has to be the next one to step on up.
And Blur having to swap to every Vanguard in the game to keep this candle wick burning for Pulsar. But at this point, Rad have banked up even more ultimates for the next round as they really commanded Stellar Spaceport. And Pulsar, those strategists, man, they're under fire. And this is a huge... really a highlight for Pulsar's team, how Crisis and Lapsus handled that. But it kind of forced Blur to have, or DRP I should say, to go to the Devil Dino, which is an emergency case. We've seen him bring that out on Celestial Husk as sort of a peel Vanguard, but then Crisis and Lapsus were getting chased like cat and mouse, and there's only so much DRP could do. He had to weigh whether he wanted to anchor the objective to keep overtime going or to protect Crisis and Lapsus. But man, Rad are so suffocating to go against, and this feels like the good old group stage Rad or pre-Black Cat Rad to have Crazy Kitty so confident and so terrifying to go up against.
I mean, what a crazy decision as well from MASH in the penultimate fight to pop the Fate of Both Worlds to go and damage boost Crazy Kitty on that dive. The amount of faith they had in their Flex Duelist is crazy. Lapsus or T-Last, I imagine, is just going to be TPing forward here, and he's staying on the White Fox to try and deal with the Daredevil.
So many charms and CC available now that Lapsus is on the White Fox. So has to be something that Lugia weighs on his mind of how he engages, watches for those cooldowns as Crazy Kitty will force their hand.
Devil Unleashed, Blur into the midst of Rad, so there's no one to peel for them because they're too worried about Crazy Kitty. However, it's not fair trades. On the other side, there's still a Resurrection to play with. Lugia go caught within the smoke trap, and so too will multiple members be trapped. Here we go. Glassrox comes on back, or at least it should have done if it wasn't slain by Smashnares over on the other side. And now Pulsar find themselves locked in the closet, and they must disengage to avoid fighting Rad in a confined space.
Yeah, Pulsar, it was good punish, but the one pig is not enough when you have a Rocket Raccoon on the field. I like that Vertical brings that out. Kumio form advantage for Pulsar as Blur now swaps to the Captain America to have more staying power on these solo dives, because DRP on the Emma is going to be at so low energy trying to keep this Angela at bay, trying to keep Crazy Kitty away, has to mark the Thief Fleck so that the Emma Diamond form can get a good grab. That could be what executes Crazy Kitty if he's not careful. Canceling heals was already incredible for Pulsar. Did not net them a fight window.
Oh, so if it was a Smashnares, Vertigo's going to go down to the living bullet as well. It's an absolute masterclass of an off angle here from Ballas, and they needed to get that value because Twitzy's made for selfless play and gone to Invis instead.
Having the third strategist. This is not a normal role we see out of Twitzy, especially that his Star-Lord is banned. But you have 3 strategist ultimates. Pulsar were very good at being patient with these. We'll see what Rad can force out of them. As again, you know, an Angela into an Invis is also just the most annoying matchup for Lugia. Everything in Invis's kit will interrupt that flight, so Lugia will have to be even less involved than usual. So will that create enough of an advantage for Pulsar? All the damage is going to come from Ballas.
Smashnares starts talking. Out comes the Cosmic Yarn Amplifier. It is going to make sure there's extra damage incoming. It seems that nothing was gained off the back of the eye. A triple strategist overlay from Pulsar. That means that Crisis has to go over into the damage form now. Try and make even more happen. Ballas stunned out of the Apex Predator, I believe, stunned out of it by the Lugia Goats. And here comes the 4th bit of sustain from Pulsar. They put it all on the line to try and hold this point, but they're yet to rebuff Crazy Kitty, who's fallen low but easily gets healed on up. Deep into the back, DRP is isolated. For rest of the team need to move up quickly and get on top of this Emma to try and heal them up. Up comes the wall, down goes the back line, and Pulsar are falling apart at the seams as their calls seem to have gone awry.
The triple strategist overlay, that cannot, double is already a crime. Triple to the gulag. Like, Pulsar's comms are breaking down, and Twitzy at least goes to the Wolverine, another uncommon pick for him. But Rad having Mash's Fate of Both Worlds later in that fight, that extra sustain is what tilted the scales back in their favor. Crazy Kitty wants to let the devil out. The last time the devil did not stay very long, was evicted, as he also gets to scout and wait for his moment to strike.
Let the devil out for now. Just keeping Blur at bay for a moment as Crazy Kitty hangs out waiting for their opportunity. Knows for Twitzy now. It's over onto a Wolverine, letting the devil out. Put that back in. Put the devil back in, bro. We're done with that one.
Shut him down quick, bro.
What a dodge from Ducky. Saw that one coming from a mile away, mate. Lugia floats above it all, waiting for Heaven's Retribution to rain down upon Pulsar, and Twitzy finally gets yet another tackle onto a very, very vulnerable Vanguard.
Yeah, how Pulsar have adapted to this stranglehold of a dive from Rad is to just play closer together. Ballast sticking by the side of Crisis and Lapsus is so punishing to go after these big health pools. And if it's not him, it's DRP that can immediately keep the diamond form and go for a grab on that Daredevil.
Oh, they're all in onto Crisis here. Stabbed back into the Heaven's Retribution. There's even more. What a Spirit Sanctuary that came through from Lapsus or T-Las. The peel is good. Twitzy and Balance both stunned, but it seems like it's not going to get too much. Smashless and Vertigo now looking for their combo. Cosmic Yarn Amplifier and the Legend. It's just so much damage, and there's not a strategist ult to try and deal with it. So now it has to be the TP back. DRP starts it off, but Blur managed to get the overtime just in the nick of time. Twitzy fights for their life and the life of Pulsar too, but DRP can't get the portal here in time. It's just too slow a drive, I'm afraid. And Pulsar are kicked from being in T'Challa.
And seconds away from either getting that portal or even a Fate of Both Worlds, where Pulsar it tried to delay the inevitable, but it's Rad's dive that looked clean, the execution clinical, and Pulsar left to look for an answer. And after this break, they'll do just that, because Pulsar will have our map pick.
I don't know, man. Like, that was kind of crazy a little bit. Like, I mean, what can you really do there? Like, Daredevil's already annoying. Then you got, I mean, pretty much like they have all kind of like dive players on Rad. Like, yeah, you got Elsa, you got. That's really it. Like, on Pulsar, you really have Elsa that can be like the dive and move around. But it's like Rad had literally Wolverine, literally Star-Lord, and Angela that can dive. So it's like a triple dive team against like a team that only has one person that can truly like move around and stuff. So I don't know. Like, I feel like Pulsar is gonna have to like really, really, truly like reshape how they do things. Honestly, because that's not a good look at all. Like, that was a wash, in my opinion. Got 4 minutes to the next match. Oh no, man. I feel like it might be what team captain said. It might be Rad like complete sweep. Might be Rad 3-0 like completely. Like, honestly. We definitely gonna be playing a little bit of we're gonna be playing some rivals today. I would love to see if I can get the what is it, platinum in rivals. Gold 2 right now, close to gold 1. Would love to see if I can get a safe ground and platinum with Cloak and Dagger. Play a little bit of Overwatch, try to get past bronze if I can in there. Maybe a little bit of Fortnite or whatever. I don't know. It's kind of like up in the air when it comes to games and stuff like that. Might play where the winds meet or whatever. Like, who knows? I don't know. Appreciate Destiny on TikTok being the top viewer. Hey, if you want to see your character or avatar on the screen with me, all you gotta do is just comment, and that's for everybody. It's live on YouTube, Twitch, TikTok. Just comment below. Your avatar will pop up. You'll be part of the stream, be part of the crew. So definitely.
Well, that was a speed run and a half, you could say, for Rad getting the 2-0 there as well. Somewhat competitive for Pulsar Esports, but it just felt like Dive is alive and well here, Lemon, especially for Rad.
Yeah, I mean, the Daredevil nerfs, yeah, not too bad. But I think Rad, though, were able to close the gap to take advantage of the more limited range that Daredevil now has, and how he was supported by Lugia on the Angela, who is not as cooldown, I guess, dependent as Venom, can just be more mobile and fluid throughout the map, whether it's anchoring the objective, Lugia did a great job on, or following up with Crazy Kitty or the Heaven's Retribution to cage them for Crazy Kitty to feast upon. It's just the coordination from Rad was really beautiful to see.
They were really putting on a performance, and they want to lock in and prove Team Captain correct that they're going to get that 3-0 that he promised us all and the viewers at home as well. But still have their work cut out for them. We'll see if they can continue it forward. I kind of want to pivot a little bit here as well. Like it felt like the Vanguard lineup specifically of Rad did quite well for themselves, especially a Lugia gout there on the Angela.
Yeah, like, it can be difficult to get the value off of the Angela when you're going into an invis, which is what Twitzy pivoted to as the tertiary support, but I think that Lugia has done a great job of really making up for the weaknesses of Daredevil now with that lack of range that Lemon brought up, because the sound of a jet plane flying over the top of you, like, and you constantly looking up like Willem Dafoe in the meme, like, where's this Angela at, allows for Crazy Kitty to kind of make those paths happen and not lose half their health bar before their engage happens.
And their engage is enabled by the Daredevil scouting. So Lugia had an even better heads up on when to choose his moment to strike, which kind of, we got debated by Rad as well. They protected the Mantis and then didn't end up playing it and just went for budget Mantis of the damage boost from Vertigo on the rocket, which I think having that res was the perfect answer, because Pulsar only ever got like maybe 1 or 2 picks in fights, which then Rad were able to keep the marathon going.
I just want to go back and just look at the highlight again of that freeze that we saw from the match on the Venom. Oh my gosh, that was crazy. But I think the big thing here too to notice is that, you know, even with Pulsar going with the blessing of the Kumiho team up between the Luna Snow and the White Fox to try and counter that dive, it just seems like recently it hasn't been as effective with, you know, the changes that we've seen to White Fox with the nerfs that happened a little bit ago. And even with Crisis, you know, playing their comfort pick in the Luna, it just doesn't seem to be matching up. And they even protected the Gambit and eventually swapped to that just to try and deal with Crazy Kitty. But I just don't know if that's the best answer here, like Dave, for Crazy Kitty.
I mean, Crazy Kitty could, like, trade out for cooldowns effectively is the thing. That's, like, one of the reasons why Rocket Raccoon has returned to the meta, right? Like, you can do a bit of insider trading. You can trade yourself for some cooldowns, get resurrected by the Battle Recall Beacon, go back in, and guess what? It seems that you don't have your E anymore, so it's time for Crazy Kitty to do his thing in the backline. And I think that that was one of the primary ways that Rad were really able to win out in these longer fights, by having that 7th man.
And I think Pulsar cooked a whole different composition compared to what worked for them yesterday. Maybe feeling like Twitzy Psylocke wasn't going to be able to get away with that against Mash and Vertigo, who have such good peel for each other. And that's the key, right? Pulsar trying to peel, where there's DRP swapping to the Dino, Crisis being on the Luna, Twitzy on the third strategist. And if you look at the stats between Ballas and Smash, it's very comparable, but Pulsar didn't have a second duelist that could add to those damage totals. Rad had 2.
This is interesting that we're going to Museum of Contemplation. Pulsar played this against Heretics, and they got full held by them specifically on that map. So hopefully, for their sakes, it's not a similar story. They, again, a lot of teams go to this because they feel it's kind of a comfort pick. They can be an equalizer. There's a chance for you to overwhelm teams just based on comp and skill diff alone. So that could be the case here for Pulsar, but we'll see as we go into the ban draft.
Well, this is certainly a map that will allow Twitzy to potentially dip into this strategist pool that he has once again, as we often do see that 3 strategist, 3 Vanguard lineup on the defense. We know that Twitzy's apparently got an Invis woman in there and a Adam as well. But I agree with what you said, Lemon. In the neutral, I'd love to see Twitzy have a bit more confidence in picking up another one of these duelists. Like, keep playing the Wolverine, keep working with Psylocke. Psylocke was great yesterday, and Rad need to have a little bit more angle pressure, because at the moment it feels like you're either looking at Crazy Kitty or Smash Nares, and the other one's free.
And Pulsar were trying to go to so many different play styles. They tried to go for a Wolverine with Twitzy. They went for a triple strategist, which needs to slow the game down. And then you had an Invis. It was like Pulsar playing the counter game for so long, and even DRP went to the EMEA. And DRP's Magneto was such a huge part of enabling Blur yesterday, and how Pulsar had so much success, because now Blur is getting punished. Just that extra second that this Venom is staying too long, Blur was often that first victim in a fight, and all the dominoes come crashing down without him.
Okay, big ban on the Wolverine here for Pulsar. This is going to constrain Crazy Kitty to go a little bit closer towards that Daredevil, which did get a lot of value last time around. But there's also a world where we could see Crazy Kitty move over to the Ultron or even the Human Torch if you want to try and find some strange off angles. And well, it seems that that might be one of the primary concerns here, given that we have a Daredevil ban as well.
And one of my favorite parts from watching that Na'Vi Rad series was Crazy Kitty on the Wolverine, and now he's double targeted by either the Wolverine or the Daredevil that went insane on Burn and T'Challa. So what else is in Crazy Kitty's pool? So much respect given from the Pulsar side, and they will have a Mirror Rocket matchup, which wondering now, do you get rid of the Pulsar Loki, which Lapsus can sometimes bring out, but also Pulsar went for the Luna Rocket on Interstellar Spaceport. So it's between Luna or Loki for me on this ban, and now making sure that I guess the duelist matchup goes Rad's way, and so that they can't dominate the skies as much. Again, targeting Twitzy was maybe what gave Rad a lot of success, forcing him to the triple strategist.
I think the Star-Lord has like a lot of baseline value as a ban here. I think that maybe not as valuable when you know you're going to have Loki, because Regeneration Domain is just perfect as a defensive measure against any amplification on the Galactic Legend. But at this high level of competition, those lamps are often going to get broken by the other 5 members of the team that are assaulting you, so it doesn't last for too long. I think overall, this is not an unconventional draft from Rad, but I think it services their particular hero pools fairly well. Is that Lugia go on the Penny?
Well, that's special. Very unique. I mean, we've seen VP play this. I know Finzy's been picking up the penny. Other teams have been trying to practice this. And if you're expecting any kind of problematic dive, forcing Twitzy now to a daredevil or a melee specialist, Rad are going to try and clock that, because that net from the penny is on a very, very short cooldown. But doesn't have a shield and a lot of self-sufficiency to mitigate damage, but rather prevent Pulsar from getting close, which Ducky on his signature Groot will be fantastic to try and hold back Pulsar's wave of aggression. Wow, he's down already.
Yeah, I think he may have got nuclear bombed by the penny brains. Unfortunately, the orbital strike's strong. Oh, Twitzy around the back. Could actually get a hot drop here off the back of like a couple of hot spots onto a single backliner.
And with the 3-3 setup from Rad, wonder if Smash would go to the Cyclops eventually, because that was left open for Rad. But against the dives, he preferred the Elsa, as Lugia is hooked by the Bucky. That was amazing from Ballas.
Okay, Crisis goes down on the other side, but is going to get resurrected straight away by the Battle Recall Beacon. And Pulsar, seems like they finally found their pace here. I love this dual threat. It's going to be Twitzy coming in from the top, and when you look towards that high ground, you are watching Ballas going in for the Barnet Cook. And it's an instant identification of the fact that Lugia is going to be weak to that displacement, is strongest in his webs, and so has to swap over to TP back.
That Bucky
if you can't get through the walls, you can simply get around it, which is Twitzy's approach to just flying high in the sky and looking for executions. He had even a strong Punisher yesterday, but will he have a strong backhand against Rad? Re-emerging from the portal, still with 3-3. No ults anywhere close, and it's enough in the neutral, though.
Pyro Presence going to disappear now as well. Question is, Twitzy resurrected? No. Battle Recall Beacon not back just yet. Strangling Prism will grab in two, but for the moment it's just the Vanguard. I think that Ducky may have just blocked Ballas' ultimate with just a Thorn Lash wall and stopped anyone from having a culling or a set onto them. This is a great opportunity now for Rad. They have a soul bond as well, and so Ducky's going to roll on forward. No fear in his wooden heart as he tick on over to a defensive victory.
The Cosmic Yarn Amplifier was right on top of the buzz. It was so accessible. It was like in the middle of the fight, so it lasted 2 seconds at the end. So Ballas, I still think, could go for those hooks, have a strong neutral, and see if you can get Rad their backs against the wall. That portal will be on cooldown for Lugia, but he has an Eye of Agamotto, and not a lot of good ways for Pulsar to try and stop that. It's going to just come down to spacing as Crisis, well, he wants to close the gap, and he races forward.
Everyone receives the ultimate here. Twitzy very close to that Supernova. It can be eaten up here by Crazy Kitty as well. Oh no, but Crazy Kitty gets themselves a nice little bit of Iron Volley in towards the back. A couple of players grabbed on into Supernova on top, but already so much is dissipated. A second invisible boundary. Mash needs to get inside of it though, taking a bunch of damage already. Twitzy's Supernova's doing so much, but Crisis falling down means that there's just not enough healing to play with at the moment. Still, Blur believes it's winnable. There's going to be a couple of debuffs given out by the Feast of the Abyss, but Rad have so much healing to play with here, and a backup in the form of their resurrection.
And this is why you have to win fights quickly against a 3-3 team, because now they built up towards 3 strategist ultimates. 2 are now gone. Smash getting picked first was big. You denied the Karmic Revival, but can you deny Ballas?
Did he do it again?
Huge regen domains coming out of Mash.
Oh, that's a big stun coming through from Lugia. Can they try and make it work, though? That's even more damage. Can you slam that? Oh, what a block here from DRP. Stop the Meteor M landing, but unfortunately there was even more damage to come from the side of Rad. It's an absolute slobber knocker of a fight, but Rad just have so much sustainability.
Sheesh. Oh,
I don't want to be a Torch hater, but I wonder if kind of this dot damage is what's helping Rad generate these strategist ultimates that much faster, and the Karmic Revival never got forced out of Smash. So Rad are sitting really pretty, but Smash needs to sit even further back and be inaccessible. Blur is on the EMEA, wants to be able to scale the damage throughout this fight, maybe get a good grab as Pulsar approach, and there's only 12 seconds left.
Smashnes lies in wait for scheming Vizier behind the throne, telling Rad that you don't have to invest too much in terms of your resources here. Fall down in the first half, and maybe it turns out DRP just strangling prisoner Loki clone. May well have Vertigo just lost their ultimate, instantly decimating, so Smashnes going to bring them back. That's one less resource now going to be available. Crazy Kitty's going too far towards the back, and Smashnes starts to maraud forward. Lugia and Crazy Kitty next to fall, but of course they return straight back to the round of the living. The Mortal Coil means little here to Rad, and Mash can get yet another ultimate out. The invisible boundary keeps Rad safe on the point for now, as Ballas makes yet another move with the Kraken impact. One last chance for Pulsar to try and find some value. The culling auras are given on out, but all of the damage is being evenly distributed here inside of a strangling prison. It might be curtains for Pulsar. The Cosmic Yarn Amplifier slowly gets broken on down. Lugia moves on forward, but there are no stuns to be found off the back of the Eye of Agamotto. Deep into the back for Supernova. One last attempt from Twitzy. All of the damage in the world to be laying down upon this backline, but Lugia's just cutting off the healing by raising up the shield of a Seraphim. Isolated him, a Cloak of Levitation moves away. Crazy Kitty looking for a finish, but the map's finished itself because no one's on the point. Rad, hold on first.
And the dunk at the end is just the cherry on top.
Damn.
Pulsar really lacked impact on these ultimates. It's the unfortunate DRP zero-man strangling prison
Pulsar's
to
getting
the
cooked,
Human Torch.
dog.
Not going to be that obvious win condition, to the Kraken impact being mitigated by the regen domains of MASH. Crisis trying to pull out the Raging Royal Flush, immediately countered by 2 invisible boundaries from Rad, and they have 3 choices of strategist ultimates being built up as fast as the speed of light when you have 3 Vanguards to heal through. Pulsar would have first picks. They have good starts. Even when you had the Karmic Revival, Rad were still getting back on their feet. Pulsar had a chance to trip them up and maintain aggression, but they were just so scared and still trying to fight plan through the layers and layers and the minutes and minutes that it takes to dismantle Rad once and for all. So Pulsar, it was a good attempt, some good adjustments, but the ults were never the end-all be-all. And if Rad get a good push here, it will be the end of map 2.
Yeah, ult value so hard here for Pulsar. They just have so many defensive cooldowns that they had to reckon with. The Soul Bond coming out from Smashness at the perfect times as well often made sure that any gaps in the defense were plugged pretty effectively.
As Rad begin their push, Pulsar cannot afford any mistakes, and it's usually been these Vanguards from Pulsar that get heavily punished, so you do not want to be overextended. You need to play around these walls from DRP so that Blur can also generate charge. Same thing for Lugia. Emma is someone that needs to scale throughout the fight for her to be impactful. The Moon Knight too is going to take advantage of this clumping from Pulsar. Good walls denies his damage, but Rad are on a good roll.
Yeah, so it's going to be a little bit too high up in the sky to really be too much of a victim of any bouncing crescent darts from the Moon Knight. Instead, utilizes the low-key doppelgangers as additional onks. Smart play here from the Moon Knight as they move in towards that first ultimate. Ducky's falling low, but honestly, playing the cover well here. Pulsar can't move forward to take advantage of this.
Still working around this first corner. Very tricky, but DRP set his sights too far forward, and now his vision fades to black as Rad can build momentum from here, and they smell blood in the water.
And you're just constantly breaking down all of his doppelgangers. That nerfs the output of Lapsus Tilas, meaning that you cannot get your ultimate fast enough. So close already to the goal. How do Rad break into here? It's going to be a portal to try and move on through. DRP taking responsibility into their own hands. But you can see that Mash's already been able to steal away the Gambit ultimate. What duplicity here from the Loki. And once again, Pulsar are banished from the objective. And it's a quick 2-0 here for Rad, finding themselves on match point.
Man, that defense was folded like a lawn chair. Talk about the damage that comes out from a Moon Knight. Of course, the Cosmic Yarn Amplifier, when you didn't have to really invest any ultimates from Rad. They just had the nail in the coffin, and it came in spades. I mean, that was as one-sided as it gets for Rad, and Pulsar, their last chance to still be in playoffs looms on this next map choice. We'll find out what it'll be after this.
Oh, no. They getting cooked, dog. I don't know. Yeah, it's gonna be 3-zip. Ain't no way, bro. It could be that one-sided. I mean, all those ults and they didn't move forward not once, bro. It's crazy. And that group on Rad is nuts. Golly, man, that was crazy. Sheesh, man. That is crazy, bro. Like, I don't, like, God, toe. Let's see what Bolger talking about.
You just go Emma. Oh wait, oh my god, you're so far. Above on me.
3 minutes, no ult. The Black Cat experience.
Oh, I was about to say, are they even watching? He's not
They're
even
just getting
watching.
cooked, bro. Oh, Craggy's on Phoenix.
They shouldn't have any ults for cat ult, right? If we go fast.
I don't know
I mean,
if
you
you're
need to go
speaking
fast.
maybe, but there's no comms from you.
What about
Saying
Jay?
that I like Sweet Baby Ray. What? What? What do you mean Sweet Baby Ray's is nasty? It's too sweet. Sweet Baby. Wait. Let me get something right. You're complaining that Sweet Baby Ray's is too sweet? See, even my dad knows. Cooking with Sweet Baby Ray's, he's the king. Exactly. Bro, like, you know what's the best barbecue sauce in my opinion, chat? Hands down, honey barbecue, bro. And if you think honey barbecue is too sweet as well because it has honey in it, no, I'm sorry, but you are an L plus ratio. You don't know what good cooking is. You probably make your steak well done with a lot of A1 sauce. A1 sucks. A1 sucks. Hickory brown sugar. Ooh, that's delicious. Nah, bro. Sweet Baby Ray's is amazing, man. Hello from Ukraine, Jay. Just letting you know that you're my favorite Rivals creator. Hey, appreciate it, my friend. See, why can't you guys be like Mark? Appreciate it. Wait, you were just talking about this. What is this? That's the post I was talking about. Yo, I don't think I could show that on stream, but Asbit, yes, exactly what I was talking about. I mean, there's nothing NSFW about it. I could probably show it, but... I mean, it's just the difference in two skins. No, I'm not showing it, chat, but no, Asbit posted it if you guys want to click on it. I don't think I could show that. You know what? Flark it, chat. But I'll show it. It's not like I'm driving and reading chat and almost like, you know, harming people. Look at... Spider-Man skin, Captain America. Oh my god, dude. I mean, it... Ay. Bro, hello, I'm new. Hello, New. How are you doing?
A tough go of it for Pulsar
You're not
Esports,
new.
especially on their own map pick.
You
Kind of reminiscent to what we saw with them against Team Heretics on the
You're a
very
liar.
same
You said the
museum
same
of
thing. Where is that
contemplation.
guy? Hello,
Not the,
I'm new. You said the
percentage they were
same
wanting in
thing
terms
2
of
months ago.
capturing the different
Hello, I'm
objectives
new.
throughout
Hello,
it,
I'm
but
new.
I think the
Hello,
biggest
I'm new.
thing to note
Liar.
here, Lemon, is that it feels like there's not as much
Liar.
comfortability on this map specifically for this Pulsar
Welcome,
roster,
welcome,
right?
welcome.
Like,
How you
where's
doing?
the
How you doing?
Phoenix? Where's the potential Moon Knight? You know, things that we saw last meta just
Okay, my
seem to
bad,
be
my bad. You're welcome.
relatively
You're new, you're
absent
new.
that could have countered that triple-triple.
Yeah, I think Rad just did their homework on what was gonna be the best ban line against Pulsar, and it was targeting, I guess, the hero pool weaknesses out of Pulsar. So as soon as you get rid of the Star Lord, Twitzy is not felt as impactful as yesterday, and he's played completely different heroes yesterday. Like I said, a lot more of the Psylocke, and Pulsar pick Museum because yeah, you could play almost
Rad
any comp
3-0.
on
It might be a
Museum. It is very
3-0 chat.
flexible,
But at
very
least the next
open
game
map,
might be good. Rad
play
against
front to back and play dive. But
Rad
Pulsar,
against
the result
Team Heretics.
repeats itself.
That's gonna be a
They
good
got
game.
full
I don't know
health,
who
just
would
like
win.
what
I said Team
happened against
Heretics.
and we were kind of putting our coaching
But I won't
coaching hats on to figure
I
out
won't
what Twitzy,
be
what
surprised
else
if
he
Rad
played,
won.
which maybe it would have been nice for him to return to the Phoenix to
Might have actually been a legitimate Blade angle. Like, maybe you got to follow over Team Cap. Like, we only really see Blade to break the 3-3 on Midtown. Do we need to see it happen again?
Could be the case here as well, but Ducky was definitely the MVP. 9 finals is what you don't see here. Almost more than the entire team of Pulsar, who had 10 across the board for them. And again, when you have the
21
Loki,
and
when you have the
3 is
triple, and you have Ducky
crazy,
on Groot,
bro.
that's the win con here, leg day.
Yeah, like, Ducky is just probably one of the best Groots we've got in EMEA, and therefore one of the best Groots in the world. Unbelievable stuff. Actually was doing a fantastic job of using LOS
Like,
blocks
look at
from his,
Pulsar's
from his
stats,
Thornlash
bro.
walls on quick
6 and
cast
6,
to block off
5 and 4,
the ult
5
from
and
Ballas when he was
3,
playing the Winter
7 and
Soldier. The
4,
Kraken
5
impact
and
was
3.
hitting
Like,
nobody
1
in
and 8.
multiple
Like
instances
the
because
Strange
the
didn't
LOS were at
die.
the impact
No, the
sites
Strange
where
did
the
die.
erstwhile Rad victims was being blocked by Ducky. That's some crazy
No,
tech
but that must be
from
like
the
assists,
Groot, and
yeah.
that's what Ducky
So like
brings to
6
the
and
table.
6,
9
5
final
and
hits,
4,
by
5
the
and
way.
3, 7 and 4,
Basically,
5 and 3,
more
1 and
than
1 is
anyone
like
else in the
crazy
game
work
by a long,
to do in a
long
tournament.
margin.
Dog. Crazy
yeah,
work to do in a
and
tournament.
just as a group main myself, giving so much appreciation to Ducky. First, only having 1 casualty, kind of hard to do, right?
Wild.
2, having the most amount of damage. The majority of the damage from the group comes from those Thornlash walls, as you guys have pointed out. And when Pulsar keep putting this triple strategist out, you're lacking some of this poke damage, or at least the focus into those walls. And Ducky just created this perfect, very sharp arena for him to operate around. But they keep forcing this triple strategist out of Pulsar. And Ballas having so low final hits is a result of he's kind of the only one doing damage on this team. Like, you know, there's some respect to Twitzy's Ultra on there. 13k is nothing to scoff at, but couldn't get any executions or resets on the Kraken Impact when he was on Bucky. And the Elsa's not getting close enough to blow up any of these Vanguards. So it's so much on Ballas to try to put the team on his back, where I think this team looks so much better with 2 duelists.
Well, we're going to Symbiotic Surface for our map here. The second time it's appeared so far this weekend, I believe. People really wanting to avoid this map for a number of reasons, especially with the potential for the overtime scenarios and C9s we've seen in other regions. But it's going to be pretty intense. This is the last chance for Pulsar Esports to stay alive in the Stage 1 playoffs. We'll see if they can do it.
My source is that I made it up, but I believe the only other time that we've seen Symbiotic Surface was actually Rad picking it against Na'Vi when they were on the ropes. So this might not be a particularly uncomfortable matchup for Rad as the only other Symbiotic Surface enjoyer on the in our current roster of teams.
And it seems that Rad
I love
very
this
comfortable
map,
with
dog.
Pulsar
Like, give
continuing
me
to
Squirrel
have
Girl,
the game
and
get,
I
and
eat
that's been
every
the
single
Crisis
time.
thing.
Like,
I
if the
think
team
Pulsar
is doing
do
what
look
they're supposed to do,
very structured, much
I
better with Crisis
kill
on
with
the
Squirrel
gambit,
Girl on this
allowing
game.
lapses to flex to kind of
Like,
that
on this
utility
map
spot, whether
specifically,
it's the Loki,
it's
the
the
Rocket,
only
if
time that
Rad
I'll
let
like
go
stop
through. But
playing
Pulsar also
anything
double-banned
else
Duelist
and
to
go
fully
straight to
target
Squirrel
Crazy
Girl.
Kitty,
Whether I'm
and
defending or I'm
Crazy Kitty
going
just
to
went Moon Knight,
like
which is
Squirrel
something that
Girl
Twitzy
just.
unironically enjoys, and I
So-
wish he brought that out.
Even
but
though I
the
do prefer
ideas,
defending
weren't
better,
popping
but
in
it's
his
like
head
I
from
can just
Museum.
stay in one spot.
Yeah,
And, like,
even
just
playing,
farm.
Defensively the mag during the 3-3.
And her
Crazy
ult
Kitty
builds
really
up
doing
so
a good
fast,
job
too.
of
Like,
leveraging
my
that
goodness.
aim that he's been cultivating over quite a few years now. Rad choosing their next ban. Likely going to be, yep, the Cyclops that's gone, and Pulsar Esports once again want to put the screws to Crazy Kitty's hero pool.
It's another Loki Protect 2 from Rad. I mean, Mash has been talked about as a top strategist in EMEA, and to be letting him on just one of the most important strategies to have to flex around, whether it's copying a Raging Royal Flush, copying the Cosmic Yarn Amplifier, whatever you need, which was double invisible boundary, which literally sectioned Pulsar off from even getting to the objective on Museum, along with the regen domains, which Bucky is a huge core piece of Pulsar's, I guess, secondary, tertiary strategies. So the regen domains just have mitigated so much value that Ballas has been trying to put out.
Okay, Pulsar deliberated for a while on what they wanted their ban to be, but getting rid of Cyclops from Smashnez I think is a good idea, and also taking away one of Wolverine's team-ups. Of course, Wolverine does also have the fastball special, but you can't really ban Wolverine out of that because both the Thing and the Hulk can supply that throw.
And Lugia, yeah, definitely supply that. If they're not
coins,
going, if
Dave.
Rad are not doing the Cyclops team up with the Wolverine, since that's banned, they're gonna probably put Lugia on the Hulk. So a lot more eyes are gonna be drawn to Ballas's Elsa, which now if a Vanguard's in your face like that, I'm imagining the damage is going to flourish for Ballas, which I think he did a good job on Burn and T'Challa to, you know, it was still a map loss, but Ballas is a highlight to deal with some of these Vanguard dives.
I wouldn't mind seeing the Bucky get a bit more play as well from Pulsar Esports. I think it was relatively powerful from what we saw from Ballas, even if Ducky was no-selling at quite a few of those Kraken impacts. But it is a great tool for shutting down the Hulk. He has a bit of trouble dealing with the Rotterdam damage, as well as the Bionic Hook actually being a fairly easy grab onto the Hulk. And he takes a while to get out of there once you pull him in.
Wonder if there's a bit of mind control on Pulsar's side to just keep protecting the Gambit that hasn't, you know, it's against invisible boundary. It ended up being a pretty even trade, if not more towards Rad's side. So if a huge part of your win condition was Twitzy on the Star-Lord, especially against Smash, honestly, I would like to see a Star-Lord protect from Pulsar, but I don't know how bright their future is going to be if they don't try to reverse sweep here and now. So we'll see if that Invis Protect will help them have a more stationary hold of some real estate with that invisible boundary.
Up against the wall, Pulsar may have beaten all expectations thus far, but the work ain't done yet, Lemon. There's still so far to go, as DRP is going to open up with a portal early on.
And the longer it takes for this offense to come out, the more suspicious you get. So Rad are just going to be clumped up and see where this portal will end up. And right in Smash's face, he's about to get Smash if he's not careful. And the regen domain does allow Rad to reposition.
Oh my
Oh,
god.
my Luna's lost, bro. I took a wrong turn on the maps app right there, and that's going to be a lot of space to work with. Vertigo's actually going to return on the Rocket Raccoon instead of a Luna now upon seeing the Pulsar composition. And Blur is preemptively moved out here onto the Thing as well to try and have a counteraction to Crazy Kitty's Wolf.
Comes Crazy Kitty to drag somebody in, but against Blur, I've liked Blur's adjustment to the Thing. We saw it on Yggdrasil's path yesterday. Vertigo now on the Rocket brings Smash back in, so Rad will make sure that Pulsar's potential take here on the point is going to take as long as possible and take as much resources as possible.
Check out Smashness's off angle at the top of your screen, by the way. Big access to the backline, and Christ under constant threat from both. Oh, okay, the 2v1 though. They said get Smashness out of there, no matter the cost. But when you look towards Smashness, you're not looking at Crazy Kitty, and so DRP is going to be a prime victim of that. Rad don't get the resurrection here. Smashness is going to start returning on the Elsa, preferring to have the high mobility.
Yeah, the Hella, the stun is nice, and this strangling prison is even
no.
nicer. The flimsy shield of the Invisible Woman will not be enough to stop the Groot Goat of Ducky, our MVP from the last game. So for Rad to retaliate when Pulsar were just about to cap, Vertigo's swap to Rocket was clutch. Lugia tossing Crazy Kitty into the deep end was even better, and Smash going to the Elsa to now just have more damage against the very high health pools of DRP and Blur.
Okay, Redhead hit scan meta here. Twitzy's moved over onto the Phoenix.
Oh, we were asking for that. And that's perfect against the Groot to try and chunk down some of these walls, which was a huge part of Ducky's damage previously, but it's a lot more open of a map as Pulsar will have to deal with this from front to back.
A lot of damage coming through now from the Cosmic Yarn Amplifier. Lugia Go already hit with the purple as well. Vulnerable courtesy of the thing, but Ballast has fallen on down. So that's a lot of damage that's now going to be missing. Oh, Crisis kidnapped away. And well, the Hulk and Wolverine are showing Blur exactly what they think of the stone-clad thing.
I can't count that high, but was that a 5-man last stand from Crazy Kitty too? Of course he's gonna emote and flex on him. You let one of the best Wolverines play his best hero on this map, especially on defense. We'll see if Pulsar can set up Blur for success. He's not gonna have the Magneto bubbles that have him have this extra staying power. As Rad want to be careful also with how proactive they want to be. And Elsa is still something you have to respect, especially in the hands for Ballas.
Oh, the fastball is so scary to try and deal with. Cosmic Yarn Amplifier instantly broken down here by the Ensong Inferno, and DRP is going to try and disrupt this formation, utilizing the Sonic Seduction. Still for now, Smashnez behind the back. Once Crisis so bad, and indeed will get him. Ballas, I think, has been less successful, unfortunately, and so Pulsar are running very, very low on options to work with here with 30 seconds remaining,
bro.
And with Smash being able to play this close, there's also a strangling prison from Ducky. We're staggering Pulsar. There's only 20 seconds left. Someone's gonna have to think about portaling, but there's so many ults online. It might have to be Twitzy or Blur. We'll just go in solo, and Rad are in trouble.
Right ult there from Blur. Healing's not going to be there. Crazy Kitty manages to burst on through already. The Cosmic Yarn Amplifier makes Rad oh so difficult to assault. And to add insult to injury, the Pentagram of Ferala is about to open and cut one of Pulsar's methods of re-engagement off. DRP falls, and that is going to be that. It is 90% of a capture for Pulsar, so it's technically winnable. The best kind of winnable.
Not obviously a crazy good push from Pulsar, and it started off so well, but it's the same theme of Museum. They get the first couple of picks, they get the cart to almost the end of first point of Museum, same thing, they almost fully capture Symbiotic Surface first point, but they can't close out these fights. The reemergence, the retakes from Rad have been so solid off of Lugia, and the full trust that they have in Crazy Kitty. I mean, the 5-man last stand from Crazy Kitty, I mean, that's enough of a dagger in the heart for Pulsar, and Smash gets to play so far forward as the Elsa, which we didn't get to talk about him too much, but he's so far forward on the Elsa.
1 4
literally jump scare Crisis. You have so many ways to try and double jump and dodge that, but Crisis got pounced on by the Elsa ultimate, and losing a strategist like that is such a killer for Pulsar.
Yeah, shout out to Mash as well in that ultimate fight there. Perfectly timed regeneration domain. Absolutely, completely nullifies Blur's Feast of the Abyss. That was going to hit like 4 people. It was going to be absolutely ruinous, but instead it does 0 damage because like you pressed shift, lol.
Lol.
Ain't that something?
Ain't that something? Now Rad's attack will feature Smash back on the Hela. The escapability is pretty telegraphed. The stun is nice if you're expecting Blur to have some kind of defensive venom, but right now Pulsar just want to hang tight and try to peel, as usually DRP is the one on the EMEA, was most improved yesterday on that, but he's going to be on the Groot to try and close off Rad and section the synergy that they've had so far.
Get another appearance of the Hela here. They really want to control high ground to give Smashnez this sniper's perch from which to work. Hello, DRP creeping around the outside. Is going to be checked on the outside as DRP is going to have to hop on down again and will not have the diamond form to try and rebuff any assaults that may come their way. A fairly safe setup here for the Battle Recall Beacon for both Lapsus and Vertigo. And Twitzy is going to be needing that one instantly. Crisis Core on the backhand side. Executed double headshots. Oh, Smashnez is just hot to trot when it comes to the aim. This guy is ready to battle, and going up against Ballas, a quick bird away, reassesses the location and calls in a quick heal from the sister Loki. Smashnez makes sure that Ballas can't get anything off the back of this, and they're starting to
such a sweep. It's 3-0. Like they didn't win one at all.
Want to do it as DRP believes in the strangling prison, but that is the decision that will cost Pulsar their bracket lives, as they are not able to proc another fight. Rad make the series a speed run.
Jesus.
And this is quite a different vibe to the series we just watched. Let's bring Vodable back in as we think about who is going to be our final attendee.
What a walk down.
LAN.
Wow. Just
back.
twirling my thumbs, making some notes, look up, and wow, it's over. It's tough for Pulsar, right? I feel like a lot of this comes down to
Stream
a
GTA
read of the
San
meta,
Andreas.
but also the specific.
Where would I
lineup
even get
they
that from,
have, right?
Cuzzo?
They don't necessarily have a Wolverine or a melee duelist specialist. Is the problem here, and that was very
I'm low-key
apparent
thinking
based on
of
the composition
streaming
that they were
GTA
playing, right?
5.
Rad just had a read of
online,
the meta a little
like,
bit better than them. They had
for
the
the countdown
fastball
to
special
GTA
plus
6.
the Groot walls, which works so well that we'd seen in previous maps during this competition. So there's just not too much Pulsar could have done. They gave it their best shot. Congrats to them for making it this far, avoiding promo relegation, right? Beating Reason to get here. It just seemed like they met a wall, no pun intended for the Groot walls, and they couldn't overcome it this time. So we'll see what they can do in stage 2. But looking at Rad, I mean, Lemon, they are
in the
looking
store,
as good
all
as ever,
three
and
for
I worry for
$20.
Heretics after
What
what
store?
we saw.
Yeah, because the hella value can be a mixed bag, but Smash, I mean, eliminating 3 in that last fight, able to go on the flank. It's more of a question of Pulsar not
PlayStation?
able to
Oh, I'm on
maintain
PC
any
right
space,
now.
and usually it's been Twitzy on the Star-Lord that
I
can
need
kind
to
of
hook up my
off-angle
PlayStation,
and
to be
mark
honest with you.
other flankers, and he wasn't ever
My
allowed to
PlayStation
play his
some-
signature. And another
in the
Ducky
entertainment center, just
MVP
collecting
comes
dust,
out.
I
I mean,
swear.
he won a fight pretty much solo off
I
a
need to
string
get
in
back on my
prison, and to
PS5.
not be eliminated once is so
But just
impressive
PC is
for
just
Groot.
so universal.
Oh,
I'm really
man, I
gonna
think
It's
point
just-
out an
I don't know,
accuracy
it's just like a
stat
quick
I
go-to.
but,
Yeah.
that one's pretty
Like, I
good.
can just do multiple
That's
things at
tough
the
as a
same
group
time,
player,
man.
Oh man, I think the problem is here too, right? Pulsar specifically put themselves into a bit of a trap because of the Gambit ban and save. So, you know, Rad don't have to rely on the Mantis. They're like, we can play anything else. So making Pulsar kind of waste a ban on the Mantis because they don't want to worry about the Vitality team up with the damage boost to the regeneration domains and the extra heal wall for the Groot, because that'd just be GG's even faster at that point, right? And then, you know, Smashna is specifically the flexibility to go to the Hela and also the Elsa. I mean, Elsa, I think, is the sneaky, like, soldier, I guess, here for the duelist lineup in this meta, just with how well that they perform compared to the rest of the duelists out there. I mean, looking at these
Look at
stats
that
specifically
sweep,
as well,
bro.
you know,
1
6
and
from
4,
Smashna,
2 and
5
3,
from Crazy
4 and
Kitty. I
3,
feel like
5
this
and
duelist
4,
lineup,
2 and
Lemon,
3.
is just
Like,
so
1.
unbeatable when they
Like,
have
God
what they want
damn,
to play.
bro.
It's so insane. And for the depth of hero pools from these two teams, the ability to play a Wolverine at a high level, this is why Rad is ahead of the game and why a lot of people have them in a top 3 position to go to land. Pulsar, they had Wolverine open. They could have had the fastball with Blur, who went to the thing, but they were just trying to counter Rad at all times, and Pulsar never really got to play their game, as Rad just had a better ban line and just had more footage maybe to look at
Dang,
for
that's just
Pulsar,
crazy.
being
What a
able to
sweep.
identify those weaknesses, win all the duelist matchups. Yeah, Rad came out on top for sure.
Looking specifically at, you know, the Pulsar side of things too, right? Twitzy and Ballas, you know, gave it their all. 2 final hits apiece. I think this just really just shows the level up more than anything else that Rad had. The glow up from group stages into this specific meta that just benefits them so well. And that was the question we had, right, with Crazy Kitty like day. It's like, no more Black Cat. Are they going to be nerfed? Well, Wolverine coming back. I mean, swapping to the Namor even if they need to. They are unleashed on another level still.
Yeah,
I don't
Crazy Kitty
know.
definitely
To be
has
honest
a
with you, I'm
deep hero
chilling.
pool
Like,
that, yeah, they're going
maybe
to
some
show up
Rivals,
quite
run some
well
ranked,
over the course of these matchups, and it was
play
a
some
tough group
Overwatch,
for
maybe some
Rad.
Fortnite.
Like,
I mean,
Rad and
I'm kind
Pulsar both in
of
that
down for
group
whatever.
with Na'Vi
Yeah.
Today,
and,
to be honest with you.
and Virtus Pro,
VP.
which is
Like, I plan on
it's
streaming
an unenviable group to
all
be in,
day,
but I think
12
that
hours
Rad
today.
definitely coming in here
So,
with
I'm
good
down to
momentum.
stream
Like, I
whatever.
think that getting 3-0
Download
in this
whatever,
bracket match
so
heading in
it's
to
kinda
the
just
rank
like whatever the
qualifier
mood and the
might
vibe
be
is.
one of the strongest buffs you can possibly have.
And I think
100%.
where Pulsar ended up is really meeting everyone's expectations. I think they sit right in the middle of the pack. They were able to punch down against the teams. They made it to playoffs, having a whole team transformation to get this far. I still think you got to give Pulsar a lot of credit. And now to perfect their hero pools and to have more depth of strategy will be what levels up Pulsar in the future. But Rad, I've just been on top of the game, and this was a very convincing victory.
What you got playing? What
Well,
you
we got
thinking?
Lugia Goat here in the interview seat this time from Rad Esports to give us their specific opinions on how things went. Congratulations on the victory. Team Heretics lies ahead for you here as well, Lugia Goat. I mean, how are you feeling after that destructive competition you just showcased in that 3-0 sweep against Pulsar?
I mean, we're feeling confident. We were watching Shiki versus Heretics before, and like, I mean, I've got Mash on my team, so people are banning Gambit from us, so we're like really locked in. I mean, I think we're pretty ready. We're feeling warm and stuff. We kind of treated this game as more of like a warm-up, and we're guessing Heretics isn't going to be as warm going into it because we've got like the passion in the VC and everything. So, I mean, we've got a lot of energy going into it, so hopefully we take it. Boom.
Yeah, I'm going to keep thinking about your backline here because you brought up Mash and Vertigo. You guys first protected Loki a couple of times today. What's the rationale behind the first protect on Loki?
I'm not gonna lie, I actually don't know. We're just doing whatever. We don't want to give too much away to Heretics.
Based Vanguard player.
Yeah, I think I called because they saved Gambit. I called like, oh, save Loki and we can copy Gambit. They weren't even playing Gambit, so yeah, we just did it just to not really give away too much of our ban line towards Heretics, because we got some stuff in place for Heretics, but this was kind of just like hiding stuff, making sure they weren't expecting too much. So yeah, we got some plans for ban line and stuff and what we want to do into them. So yeah.
Awesome. Well, let's talk about something you do know, which is Vanguards. And it was so cool to see more of your Angela. We got to see your Hulk and stuff. Talk to me about Angela's role in the meta right now and what cases, and you, I mean, you were a fantastic Venom in the past too. Didn't get to see it as much today, but what are the cases where Angela is better than Venom or vice versa?
I mean, for me, it's more personal preference. Like, I kind of don't play Venom much anymore. I used to play him a lot in like season 2, like stage 2 and stage 1 of last year, but I kind of fell off on Venom. So we kind of opt to just play Angela whenever we think it's viable. So like today, when we saw them on like Gambit Rocket, for example, Venom's really good into that too, but I would just prefer to be on Angela and get more done. I think it gives more pressure too, so I mean, it's more just personal preference. I think you can make anything work in this meta. Everything's really viable, so yeah.
Great.
I'm not going to pick your brain too much on composition, right? You guys are trying to save strats as best you can for this upcoming series.
I thought
You
that's
have the
what you were
momentum
doing.
Going into
I thought you was
I want
out
a prediction
getting
on you
snaps.
on how many maps it is going to be if you guys end up taking this.
I mean, we obviously want a 3-0. I think we really want to show our dominance, I guess you could say. But I mean, I'd say Heretics is a really good team. We've obviously struggled with them in the past. Maybe map 5, maybe map 4. But I'd say like map 4, we're probably around that map 4. Aiming for 3-0 though. Aiming for 3-0.
Okay. And then a quick follow-up after that before I let you go. If you do get this victory, revenge against Virtus Pro, are you getting that comeback against them?
I mean, we're feeling good. We're feeling really good. I think Na'Vi is easily one of the best teams in the world. Like, we've seen from this tournament, they're like completely unbeatable. So, I mean, we had some close matches against them, but I think we've got Virtus Pro. I think we've got most teams down in EU to compete against, but we're just aiming for Na'Vi, really. That's the big prize, I guess you could say.
Makes sense. Well, thank you, Lugia Goat, for joining us. Get ready for your match that's coming up next. Good luck.
Thank you very much. Thank you, guys. Bye-bye.
Well, there we have it. Didn't really know why they were picking the Loki, but makes sense, you know, maybe to keep whoever's being sent to the interview not as informed is a strategy in its own right here, Lemon.
Don't tell him anything and he can't leak.
That's what I'm saying. I'm like, you know what I like is, you know what, when we ask them things and they say, oh, no leaks, my favorite answer now is just, I don't know. I don't even know, because I've made Rad look really studied. I mean, their ban lines were absolutely perfect to target all the weaknesses or to expose the weaknesses out of Pulsar, and Rad were just like, I don't know, maybe calling it on the fly, or at least Lugia is there. So it was fun to watch.
Very fun series for sure. And if they got a 3-0 sweep like that leg day without even showing all of their strats, I worry for Heretics coming up.
I mean, there is some reason to be worried for Heretics. I think everyone needs to not overreact during like the first 2 maps of the next series, because Rad are going to be coming in very warm. Like Lugia said, right now the VC is probably very hyped up. They're coming in with a lot of momentum, and Heretics have had to sit back and watch this. They've been able to study, but they are going to have cold hands. So I imagine the first map, maybe the second, are probably going to be a significant advantage in like warmness for Rad, and from there we see how well Heretics can bounce back.
We did speed run it through that series with the 3-0, and we got to give a little bit of time for their opponents and Heretics to get ready into lobby and all set up. So it might be a little bit longer for this break. Don't go anywhere. Get your popcorn, get your refreshments. We'll be back to find out who our final LAN attendee between Team Heretics and Rad Esports is after this.
6-minute break. I'm about to go and get snacks, so stay tuned. I'll be back. See what we're getting into.
Trapping all those fighting souls, but yet across the world I see you standing in my way. And remember the time, the place we used to fight, like the sun and moon, and I wonder if ever there was a time that we were friends. The night has fallen, shadows looming, and yes, that time has come for me to seek you out. We are standing out for our last reunion. Break the chains, find your way, come find me. Do you remember who you really are? Show me that you are still the only one for me. I'll be waiting for you. Wake up, open your eyes, raising up your fists and smashing through time walls. Before the rift winters turn again, we are rebels till the end. Rise up, open your mind, hold on to your powers. No one can stop us. We are rivals till the end of time. We will flash, no matter where. We will fight, pushing across time and space. 'Cause you are my destiny to the end. You see the dawn, the flames burning brightly, shining on those memories. And yes, across all time I see you turning the tides. And do you see now our time, our turn? We can still fight like the wind and fire. And wonder no more that now is the only time your heart is mine. Light has fallen, darkness grows, and yes, we fight for our destiny and fate. New days smiling for the past and future. Break those chains, lead the way, fight with me. And when you wake up, open your eyes, raising up your fists and smashing through time walls. Before the rift winters turn again, we are rebels till the end. Rise up, open your mind, hold on to your powers. No one can stop us. We are rivals again until the end of time. Show me that you are still the only one that matters for me. I'll be waiting for you. Wait up, open your hands, holding on to your heart. Look inside you. Can you feel it? The sparks in you. Add it up, unleash it all. Wake up, open your eyes, raising up your fists and smashing through time walls. Before the rift winters yet again, we are rivals till the end. And rise up, open your mind. 쓰러지지 말 끝까지 일어나야 해 어딜 가든지 극복해 힘은 너에게 있는 걸 소리 높여 노래를 불러 작은 걱정 따윈 던지고 최선을 다해 가슴을 쳐봐 어둠 있다 날때까지 아름다운 꿈을 밝혀봐 우리에게 달려서 그 세계 운명 어둠 있다 날때까지 세계 운명 오랜 시간 간직해온 열망 까만 밤의 빛처럼 빛나 네 눈앞에 바로 왔던 나 잡을 딱 봐도 스파스타 딱 보면 모른다 널 지킬 나란 걸 고집혀볼수록 점점 빠져들어 카리스마 넘쳐 흘러 oh yeah 분명한 소리 들려 여기서 저기서 날 찾으면 달빛이 날 비춰와 시작이야 let's go 어둡고 흘러는 우주 따뜻한 눈으로 감싸나 순간 신비롭게 녹아내릴 거야 좀 더 기다려 I'll be there 쓰러지지 말 끝까지 일어나야 해 어딜 가든지 극복해 힘은 너에게 있는 걸 소리 높여 노래를 불러 작은 걱정 따윈 던지고 최선을 다해 자충을 쳐봐 어둠 있다 날때까지 아름다운 꿈을 밝혀봐 우리에게 달려서 이 세계 운명 눈이 부신 모든 순간들 지켜내야 해 내게 주어지는 꿈꿨던 너와 나 그래 승리와 명예 The weight of it both the world is in our hands 작은 걱정 따윈 던지고
Dormammu, we have come to bargain after the time loop that we were stuck in there during the break. But we're back for our final series of the day to figure out who our last attendee will be the mid-season finals. Is it going to be Rad Esport or Team Heretics? It all comes down to this best of 5, the most anticipated match, I would say, of the day after the very interesting, winners final that we had there, Levin.
And what's interesting is these two teams have never faced. I feel like the majority of EMEA has encountered each other at some point, whether it's preseason, this group stage, in this bracket. So you would think they're unfamiliar. But based on Lugia's interview, Rad have done their homework and they're confident they're going to sweep Heretics, the grand finalists from preseason.
I just am excited to see what the tactics are going to be here for these teams. Like we heard from Lugia that they're hiding their strats, still got a 3-0 sweep regardless of it from Rad Esport, and now Team Heretics. They're a team who's like, yeah, we figure stuff out on the fly, so you can't really plan against that. If we don't know what we're doing, the other team won't know what we're doing is, I guess, the strat for Team Heretics.
I think they're going to drop a little bit of a Yondu quote when they see each other's shirts, like, I know who you are, boy, because you're me. They both just love speed, violence, and momentum. These are very similar teams in terms of style. They have their very specialized like melee character in Joya, in Tanuki and Crazy Kitty, who also have a very big depth of hero pool, but you know that they'd rather be over on the melee, smacking some people around. And their vanguards always trying to be the first ones to initiate the fight. They love to hit that initiative roll.
Yeah, and kind of speaking of those identities, the two main ones, is it a Wolverine composition or is it going to be more of a Daredevil based one? It's going to come down to those bands, but there are some minor flavor differences, I would think, when it comes to the vanguards that accompany this, whether it's Lugia bringing out the Hulk, Beetle and Enzo have like kind of the Vanpool and the Captain America, and they are able to brawl alongside Tanuki. So I think the vanguard lines could be what you can exploit in this ban phase, because I think there's really solid pivot points for both these teams when it comes to duelists.
I'm curious if we're going to see, one-sided Wolverines, just some bans specifically to make it so nobody gets to play it throughout this tournament. The fastball special really has been having a resurgence in popularity, especially with using the group walls to section off any of the heals that do come out from it. But it looks like we will be going to Krakoa for our first map to kick off our LAN qualification and top 3 matchup between Team Heretics and Rad Esport.
Oh boy, getting into this one real quick, Lemon, but I guess everyone's very aware of who's on these rosters after having watched the last 2 best of 5s.
Yeah, and both these teams have visited Krakoa at different points. Rad, I mean, that was the first map of the whole tournament, and they swept Shikigami on it to kick off that series and that sweep that advanced them to the semifinals, while as Heretics had to face Krakoa later, deeper into the series against VP, which began the comeback and the eventual demise of Heretics in that very grueling semifinal there. So we'll see who will step up, and it's the battle of I think, the 2 best Wolverines that we have in EMEA.
Oh, Rad, once again going with this unorthodox draft. Don't really care right now for the Gambits. Instead, playing for the remainder of their strategist pool, whether it's with the Loki, with the Rocket, with the Mantis. Loki gets banned away. That's a huge pull to get away from Vertigo and MASH. And now Rad, they kind of have the ban Rogue.
Yeah, the first save Rocket is so unheard of, so no double Cosmic Yard Amplifier, targeting Beetle with the Captain America versus Crazy Kitty's Daredevil. You're trying to force a Wolverine matchup, and Rad want to guarantee that.
I don't know if I like that from Rad. Like, targeting Beetle, yes, but Beetle's also the Rogue player. So Team Heretics can just protect Rogue here, and Beetle's fine.
Maybe they
forgot. Maybe Rad can go for the like one-sided Wolverine here. Perhaps they're going to get rid of that kinetic team up from Scott Summers. And there it is. Rogue's on the field. Rad probably just want to go for a one-sided Wolverine, I'd guess. Or it might be a little bit more. Oh no, they can play Rogue and Hulk because Enzo's their Hulk player. This is a very deep ban phase. This is so far from standard.
And a one-sided Rocket will be the last one to consider, as we are done the most interesting part, I think, of this whole series. And I mean, the cinema hasn't even started. Surely Rad didn't have some silly laps, right? Surely they intended for this Rogue to be played, and they feel confident in that matchup, right? I mean, we said that Rad were going to be warmed up, and yeah, mechanically, yes, but is this intended?
I mean, surely it's got to be. Like, I tend to think that Rogue's got one of the better matchups of the Vanguards against Wolverine. So, and Team Heretics have access to the Wolverine as well. Rogue could play alongside someone like a Daredevil. Just checking.
All right, here we go. Let's see if they beat 3-0 on Rad.
Wait. Rad have Mantis for free. Like, they didn't even get banned on their side. There's some weird things happening right now. The time stream got all wibbly wobbly during our break.
Weird. So, you got a Gambit Rogue, which this is not the first time Heretics have been gifted this huge opportunity. I think maybe it was in that Pulsar series where they got a very convincing victory using this Rogue from Beetle, one of the best at it. Tanuki will own the skies, which he's that melee specialist, not going to bring out the Wolverine quite yet, as Crazy Kitty will be spotted on that, and a flank opportunity. Enzo's known for these portal plays, but now that he can't intercept the stack, he's just going to bring them to the point.
Yep, just got themselves a little bit of cover here. And there's going to be that constant threat of the fast goal. Is Crazy Kitty going to TP from below? Oh no, he's going to jump up from behind, trying to grab someone else. It wouldn't be the ideal grab, but hey, if you can get Alex into the midst of your team, maybe it'll work on out.
Damn.
There's no means of peeling for them, and so Save fell well.
That was crazy.
Only Ken now remains, but Naga and Tanuki managed to strike back on the other side. All the violence is just so strong. Enzo going to have a little bit of a difficult time, so I think this one, but Tanuki's there with the peel. Element Guns win out against Adamantium Skeleton, despite a strong opening. Rad are hoisted.
Jeez.
The damage next level, and that's why, like, Wolverine, that's the drawback of him, is he creates good opportunities but lacks that brawling damage, which Naga and Tanuki have a lot of. And so great for Crazy Kitty to grab Alex, because that's the main person that can mitigate this Wolverine. If not Enzo and this Invis team up with the Doctor Strange, which Enzo, this is a big comfort pick, so much so that people have banned the Enzo Doctor Strange on maps like Manhattan, Lower Manhattan. So hey, the arena is Rad's for now.
Crazy Kitty already used that damage reduction. Big E, that's going to be gone on Smashness and Tanuki, just exchanging fire around the margins here, trying to protect Vertigo from any backline engagements while Naga plays more on this core hit scan kind of angle, making sure that no one else can move forward without taking too much damage. Crazy Kitty towards the back, Beetle's there with the grab, has her own damage reduction as well from regenerative healing factor, and this is where the Rogue is very dangerous. Crazy Kitty gets resurrected straight away. Tanuki manages to move away from the leaf. The attempted grounding from the Hulk, and Tanuki's getting even more audacious going into the middle of 4. The support's going to be there, courtesy of the Gambit. A raging Royal Flush towards the back. Vertigo could be hunted down, and that makes sure that Mash cannot move forward to support the remainder of the team. Ducky thought there was going to be backup there from a Fate of Both Worlds, but the peel took precedence, and now Mash is grabbed in and eviscerated by Team Heretics.
And you might expect the Raging Royal Flush to be combined with the Galactic Legend, but maybe the attention for Heretics was to draw out these Strategist Ultimates, did so with Mash, and then you didn't even need to invest Duelist Ultimates, as Heretics have a very economical fight off of that. Tanuki poking down Crazy Kitty before the approach happens.
Damn.
Heretics are about to make this a flawless first round.
Damn. Do not go in there. Do not go through that teleporter, bro. I'd give that a hot minute.
That's the Fight Club right there. It's rad. I mean, the door is closed. No one's even touching. 100-0 is a statement, not just with a period, but an exclamation mark. If we were talking about Rad being warmed up, Heretics are just getting started.
I mean, I still think that Rad's ban phase was a little bit off the goop. Like, Beetle here with the team up rogue, like, did y'all forget me? Did you forget? I'm that guy, bro.
And Crazy Kitty's the one that's MVP or ace right now, just with that one grab onto Alex, and that was the only play
He's
that
got
Rad...
the final hit.
Yeah, the final hit. And they lost that fight, by the way, when Heretics only had one strategist, and it was a Gambit. So the teamwork, the resilience that Heretics have had through all the pressure that they've received. I mean, they've gone through the gauntlet when they went up against VP. So this is feeling like a warm-up for Heretics. But hey, can they actually close out a series in clean fashion? We still have to see more of this.
Maybe watching Rad when having up-to-date info on their ban phase, courtesy of that last fight, really was everything. Enzo once again. Are they gonna look and try and mug Ducky here? I mean, Ducky's got fairly obvious pathing, can't get away from this very easily. Might be difficult for everyone else to try and join them as well. Already the grab from the Rogue, there's the anti. And I think that there was actually an LOS block there from Enzo to stop the indestructible guard from Lugia.
Yeah, beautiful shield from Enzo, but he's taken on a long journey, long walks on the beach, but Crazy Kitty, the extra health passive, already popped. The damage boost from Rad, but against the Enzo Eye of Agamotto, all hell is breaking loose for this first fight.
Oh, Crazy Kitty puts their Ken down on the floor, and Tanuki soon to join them. Rad have built up an ult bank, and by God, are they going to use it? Vertigo towards the back has already used the Cosmic Yarn Amplifier, and Albedo's got some complaints of their own to try and lodge. A quick block to build up some energy, but running low on HP and healing, there's not much more to be done, and Rad will get their first cap.
The pass is repeating itself. Heretics get the jump, they get the first pick, and then what? It all goes the way of Rad at the end, having the two strong duelists, especially the double from Smash there at the end. I mean, mechanically, he was already on fire, dealing with Ballast in that last series. Smash now on the Star-Lord is so nice to see, and what a fight for Rad to win when you have basically every ultimate in the game popped. But the Beetle Heartbreaker could be what sets Heretics back in the game.
All right, going to be under assault in the back right here. Vertigo already falling low, demanding the pocket from Mash. But that means that no one's going to be looking towards Ducky. Smashner's going to be getting the healing now, as Beetle still continues to figure out, when am I going to use this Heartbreaker? Running away from Wolverine seems to be their primary concern for now, as Lugia Go is taking a lot of poke in the back, might need a little bit of pocketing, and Rad are already halfway towards a full cap.
It's the big thing with Heartbreaker is denying the presence of the strategist ultimate that can come out. So Mash has to be quick on the money or away from the Rogue, inaccessible, to make sure you can counter with the Fate of Both Worlds. You have to put up a resistance against Beetle's Rogue because it is insane. Here it comes. Oh, we got canceled.
Oh, first one coming out. Beetle was trying to take away that Fate of Both Worlds to mean that Tanuki could try and find something here with the Galactic Legend, but instead Mash manages to get away with it. Now you got to worry, though, about the Ruby Rage. Ken's going to buff it up. Here comes the clip from Tanuki, managing to win out, and that is 4 quick final hits ascertained by Team Heretics. But they took their time with this flip, Lemon.
Yeah, 82%. Nice comeback though from Heretics. I wonder what canceled Beetle's Heartbreaker, because there's the option of the exile from the Hulk, maybe a freeze from Mash, but that ruined the first win condition of Heretics. But the last laugh always goes to Tanuki, as Rad have even better options coming up to try and force a third round. Beetle scouting, being on the front lines, making sure any angle that Rad are going to take is going to be costly, and allowing Tanuki the scouting information, what off angles Smash and Tanuki can take. They're marking each other, and this could expose the backlines if you do not watch out for these Star Lords.
Smashers need to be careful to try and conserve their HP. Crazy Kitty looking for a grab here on Tanuki, gets it done. And that's going to be the Ruby Rage. Not getting enough right here. May have done a little bit of damage to Vertigo's ultimate, but Smashers still up in the air looking for victims. Nowhere that Naga can go. Kinetic Force won't take you far enough away from Pizza Quill and the Element Guns, as Vito has to try and fight for the point themselves. Next up's Enzo sacrificing their HP for objective percent, and Rad flip back.
Here's last second portal here. Tanuki has plenty of time to figure out what target they want to grab, and being in front of a Wolverine, that is a choice, as Crazy Kitty almost got grabbed. If anything, Beetle was the one that got grabbed by the Wolverine.
Yeah, Beetle in a very precarious position. The World Breaker Hulk, I believe, has moved over back towards spawn. It's going to start throwing through those big gamma blasts. Now, Naga around the outside, taken down by Lugia. Man, the cleave on these gamma claps is absolutely disgusting. The body blocks even better.
Rad.
And Rad have woken up.
All right, Rad.
We've got to play the game, guys. I thought we were in practice range.
At least we got the Crazy back in the Crazy Kitty name, because they let Heretics have the Rogue for a reason, and Beetle's Heartbreaker ultimate has been canceled now twice from various reasons on the Rad side, and to try and go after Crazy Kitty, and yeah, it ended up costing Beetle that, not only his ultimate but his life in the end. So despite that 100-0 start on Cradle, things will be decided now on Carousel. Heretics will have one last chance to defeat Rad once and for all for this map, and they really got to be proactive and set up, kind of follow in the footsteps of Beetle. But Rad, I think, have been able to enable their Wolverine just that much better.
Look at how much healing Mash is getting out as well here on the Luna. Absolutely disgusting when it comes to the triage that's available. And that's been so necessary given how much damage you usually take on the Wolverine when going on these adventures.
Yeah, because Rad only had like one final hit on Cradle, and then they went up to 17 after Grove. So talk about a 180. Looks like Rad are setting up for more of a poke battle, as Crazy Kitty wants to maybe scoop people towards his own team into the firing squad, and almost got Beetle there.
Nice dodge away there from Beetle, but now Enzo is going to have to eat some of the aggression from Crazy Kitty, taking it out on the old man. That's not very